it's going to work. I think it's working. I always have this little thing. Right, here it is. I think that's live. Now, I am trying to bring this all over to my different social media platforms because, of course, I'm a startup. I am a high school teacher, or I was a high school teacher, and I guess once you are one, you always are one. And I have written a couple of books, a program I want to share with everybody and I want to talk about. And of course, the point here is that I really stink at technology. I really just want to use it. I'm never the person that wants to, figure out how it works, which is why you see me right this very moment have panic, because I haven't been able to get this working. So let's see if I can get it posted over here to the Facebook page quickly. If I can get this over here real quick, real fast. Where's the event? Where's the thing? Oh my gosh, this makes me crazy. Absolutely makes me crazy. So to the Facebook people out here, let's see if I can get this one going. Let's get this started. So over here, let me apologize. I am Kirsten Peck, and this is my all-star teaching celebration for teachers and administrators, principals. I've invited lots of people. I'm not sure who all is going to be able to find their way over here to the video. And actually, I think I'm going to be editing it and doing a lot of follow-ups by email. But in the meantime, the show must go on, as they say. And so I'm just going to switch over here and let me just kind of talk to myself for a while. I'm having a party with myself, although I have to laugh. Actually, I'm having water, which is always a good thing here. We should be drinking more of it. But what I wanted to do first up is everybody that's signed up and everything that's seeing this, I put together a list of my favorite instructional strategies that I use with students to engage them and really catch their attention. Is a big part of what I do when I try to teach. I like to disrupt students and kind of challenge them from what they're usually thinking, mostly because with struggling students, those thoughts are negative and not going to be helpful to moving forward. So I'm a big believer in the disruption or a shakeup of some kind. I often move the desks around in my room just to shake things up. And, those are some of the strategies or some of the things. But what I did is I put together a cute handout here that's got details about my 4 strategies that I recommend. And the point of what I'm really trying to get at here is the way that teachers have to go beyond and above and beyond the usual strategies and the usual techniques that we've been taught in teacher school, and that one size does not fit all. We know that. And as much as we try and adapt and we try and make sure that we are doing our best, of course, there are going to be cracks where students are going to slip through the cracks, or things are not always going to go as you planned. Case in point today here with my event. And we as teachers really are like the masters of improvisation and of that stepping out of the box, really coming up with something that will solve the problem. We're used to standing in front of a crowd of people and then everybody looking at us and expecting us to have the insights and the solutions. And so when COVID struck, a lot of shifting has happened. We've had to go online with schools. We've, obviously shut down for a while, but now trying to get everybody online, or now school's coming back in session and we're going back in the buildings. And are we going to wear masks? Are we not going to wear masks? Or are we going to go in the building? All of this. And the point where I'm at is that I'm still concerned about those students who do not have the best families or the best home situations, that don't have necessarily the best resources to help them if they are struggling, I've specialized working with these struggling students, and many of them face challenges that are not under their control at all. There are families who are homeless, and meanwhile, the kids are still trying to figure out how to go to school every day. So we have so many things that happen, and yet there's these gaps. And so I really sat down and I put together my ideas of how I teach and what I do. And the thing that I've got out is I'm now calling it my all-star teaching. And so here's my new book. I'm very excited about it. I just got these the other day from Amazon. And it describes my philosophy about champions and about making yourself into the best you can be. And kind of taking it from a sporting side and almost taking academics and learning. I teach English, rather than trying to teach grammar and spelling, I decided to take it more as a sporting event and make it fun and more like Jeopardy. And, how many ways can I make it exciting and different? Because students need that attention. They need that capture. And when you're negative and you're down, you have to turn it around. And so that's a big thing. So the idea dawned on me one day just to say, you know what, let's just decide we're all going to be great at what we do. We try our hardest, we work our best. And that mindset of being a champion is really what's important. And whether or not you actually have the title, whether or not your team actually goes and wins the World Series or the Super Bowl or now the Stanley Cup, that piece of that is kind of secondary. Because if you don't have that mindset of wanting to be the champion, it's never going to happen. So in my classroom, my first days of teaching, I came into teaching with a business degree. And in a middle school and a 6th grade and 8th grade split with students that were way below grade level and no textbooks, out of adoption, and craziness was going on mid-year because they hadn't had a teacher. And I just decided, you know what, I'm going to shift this up totally, change the game. Here we go. We are the champions. This is the champions of 6th grade. And we're going to have a training schedule and we're going to approach it like weightlifting. And these are the exercises that we're going to do. And when you work through these rounds of exercises, you're going to go win the game. And it worked. The students were like, this lady's crazy. Haven't you seen my grades? And and I'm like, yes, I believe in you. And I know that you can be this champion. And so that's what we're going to do. You guys are now all champions, and my all-star philosophy, if you want to call it that, was born. And so as I've become teaching now, and as then I got trained and go to all these ways and learn all the methods of teaching the way you're supposed to do it when you're trained that way, I'm like, let's plug all these things together. And I've heard about the use of inquiry and why research and inquiry projects are so transformative for students. And so let's do research projects and service learning. And so, let's do service learning and, all of these various pieces. And I put them all together into how I teach and what I teach. As I teach English, which is language and communication and literature and drama and comedy and argument. And all of those things can be all interwoven together. So explaining all of this is my fun part, because here's my book and I want to send it to you guys. I'm trying to share the information. I'm trying to change and help students that are struggling. And the point that I got at as I was doing my research, it dawned on me that my own actualization of feeling the best that I can possibly feel as a teacher means that my students have to be successful. And I believe my job as a teacher, and whether I teach guitar or whether I teach science or whether I teach car repair, I want my student to learn it so that then they'll be empowered to go live their best life. I had a student that was a car thief, And I convinced him that he needed either to go get a car wash job and start detailing cars, or a mechanic and become a mechanic, or do something else with cars, because obviously stealing them was not the way to go, you know. And but that empowerment of him, and when I told him that I knew he could be a mechanic, I knew he could do that. He looked at me. Nobody had ever told him that before. Nobody had ever believed in him and what he wanted to do. It's going to make me cry, because, you know, his story, his mom's boyfriend taught him how to drive when he was 8 and how to steal cars when he was 10. And so that's why he's a juvenile offender sitting here in my classroom when he was 14. And I'm like, that's so wrong. That's just such a messed up story. And then here's this kid that's looking at me and he loves cars. I'm like, yeah, how about a mechanic? How about a tow truck driver? How about a race car driver? I mean, let's make the list. Let's start pursuing everything you could possibly do with a car. And that kid, when that became his research project, that kid went in, was like, I wanted to learn all about all these things, suddenly had a purpose and had a reason besides just doing something because he didn't know what to do. I'm way off my story, and you see why then. This is why I shouldn't be just talking to myself. I should be talking with other people. And so I'm going to figure out this technology, and the next party I'll have with more than just myself. So the point, back to my point, today I'm going to send you guys my strategies here. I've got a bunch of them. This is just the first page. And I really want to invite you to read my book, check it out, because it will, I hope, empower you and want you to realize, teachers, you have done an amazing job. That last year, COVID was insane, absolutely unbelievable job teaching, doing what you know how to do best, because that's what teachers do. And so I'm empowering you and telling you again, you are awesome. And this year is going to be great too. And I'm getting choked up because I'm not going in the classroom. I can't do it. So this is what I'm doing instead, right? So you guys, calm down, stop the video. I mean, anyway, no, but this is back to my point. I've got the book. I'm going to send the book out to everybody that's interested and that's here, that checks in. You guys got me. I really, in the long run, when we really get to start talking about things and you kind of understand where I'm coming from and you know me a little bit more, I really want to talk to you about my Smart Start Challenge. This is the book. I wrote it for my students. I teach freshmen usually, so it's geared as a 9th grade MTSS program. It's tier 2 and tier 3. You could run it individually on a daily basis. For tier 3, you could run it on a week level for group work as a tier 2 as well. This is the program for the students. And what I did is I wrote the teacher edition, of course, because I think every teacher can run my virtual event. It's 31 days of thinking and reading and a little bit of communication, a little bit of problem solving, some identity work, some service learning project is in it, of course. Digital projects are in it to really get students to focus on their future and get a smart start on their future. So thank you for coming by or listening to my video. And like I said, teachers are amazing. And all of you out there are just unbelievable. Have a great year this year. And reach out to me because I've got a great way to help struggling students. Okay? So thanks a lot. Bye.